Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This is Mac Reviews. I'm your messy internet cousin Mac. If you love to watch trashy reality TV, this is the show for you. We are talking about 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, Season 5, Episode 15 today. I am late. This season's been on for a while, but better late than never. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk about the most unpleasant couple to watch, Johan and Danielle. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them. I'm ready for them to go. I'm tired of this couple going over the same stuff over and over again. This is dumb. It's so stupid. So they are going to see a life coach because they were seeing a therapist before and Johan stopped going or whatever. And this woman has the nerve to say that it's heartbreaking, quote, heartbreaking, unquote, to her that he said what he said to her in the car. And I was like, you're full of it. You're full of shit. I don't feel sorry for you. Um, this woman has a lot of nerve. She wants somebody to feel sorry for her and she wants to have feelings, but she can talk to this man any way she wants. She's very nasty to him. She's been nasty and his feelings don't matter. Now, I'm not saying that Johan is some victim. He's not. But anytime he does speak to her in a rude way, he's just retaliating. It's just after she was nasty to him. She started this and he just retaliates. And that doesn't make it right. But it doesn't absolve her of responsibility for her nasty words either. This couple is just toxic. He's not a victim, neither is he, but she did kind of deceive him, to be honest. She tells this life coach that she wants an equal partner, but that's never what Johan wanted, and that's not what he agreed to. Johan said, I want to go to America so I can work and make money. And he thought that she was gonna be the one to fund everything. So for her to say she wants an equal partner, she sounds stupid. What are you talking about? You were smashing this man. You were only with him for the D and to enjoy yourself. You know that he wants a better life. He's told you that a million times. And then you talking about you want an equal partner. She's trying to strong harm him into something he didn't want. He never wanted. He never said he wanted. She thinks she's gonna force him to do something he didn't want to do. Sounds dumb. And then he says that she told him that she would work and he could stay home, which even though I don't like Danielle, I don't believe she said that. And also I think what he's referring to is in their was that their first season or their second season when um they were looking for an apartment and she was like, how much money can you give me for the rent? And he told her and she was like, that's not enough, that's nothing. It's like I'm the husband, like you would have to do cooking and cleaning. And I don't know if he's referring to that, but that's not the same as saying you could stay home and I'll work. So, but he's adamant that she said that. But it doesn't matter because what he really should have said is that he wanted to go to America from the gate and she changed up and said she wanted to live in the DR and that's not what he wanted. And he also said that he doesn't see the good life that she promised and she said she's only been there 3 months. It's gonna take time, whatever, whatever. Um, this is dumb. This is just dumb. She's trying to force this man to do something he doesn't want to do. She says that he wants what he wants without having to work for it and all this BS. And it's like, you sound dumb, Danielle. This man was looking for a woman to take care of him, and you know it. You know that this man was out here slinging peen at that resort, that hotel, trying to find a middle class to wealthy white woman to take care of him. And you clearly are not that woman. This woman was going bankrupt. I don't know if he still to this day even knows that this woman was running from debt and bankruptcy in the US, and that's why she doesn't have the money to bring him to the States, and she doesn't want to bring him. She doesn't want to live in the US, not permanently. But this is just dumb. These two people want different things, and I'm tired of going over this. This man wants a woman to take care of him and bring him to the US, and she wants an equal partner. And he he's freaking delusional. You really thought that this man who already told you that he wanted to move to the DR, you know he's in poverty, and you think he's gonna be an equal partner? And he didn't want to be an equal partner. He never agreed to that. She sounds so dumb. I'm sick of this lady. I'm sick of him. He needs to leave her. I know we saw in the mid-season trailer he is finally should have been left her. He said at the tell-all last time that he was going to leave her at the end of the year. So I think that's what we saw. She's saying that she wants them to sit down and determine all their expenses and income, and then she wants him to work. And he says, "Okay, I'll agree to it." And I honestly think that he just was like, he realized that he was like, "I'm done." So he just said that to not argue anymore, and that's it. I don't know what the point of speaking to the life coach was. He just told them to come up with a plan to communicate better, and I was like, "What? They needed to come to you for that?" Anyways, I'm tired of this couple. So let's talk about next, Mary and Brandon. This couple is so sad to watch. Like, oh my God. So we're on the same scene that we left off last week where they were talking to Mary's grandfather, her Lolo, and he apologizes and he says, I want to be here. I don't want to have a toxic environment where my child is raised because that's how I was raised, and I don't want to repeat that. I don't want it to be a generational curse. So he said he's gonna try to help and get up earlier and stop fighting. The thing is, well, let me say this first. I want to address the difference in how she reacted to him with his behavior versus how he reacted to her when when he asked her to stop being so jealous and being so controlling. She went into a crying fit and manipulated him into, you know, was crying and saying, "Well, I don't know if I can change." She had such a bad attitude and was crying. And now when she's asking him to change, she's so hard on him and so nasty. And I just don't like Mary. Mary is she's quite immature, of course, because she's young, but she's nasty to this boy. She's been so nasty to him since we first met her. Um, it just feels abusive. It really does seem like abuse. Um, Brandon, I feel sorry for him. I'm not a mental health professional, but the actions, the behaviors that we have been told he's engaging in sound like symptoms of depression, and he needs help. He can't just he needs to talk to a therapist. He has a lot of trauma. He told us on one several episodes ago that he wanted to unalive himself one time. Like, I just feel really bad for him. And I hope he finds healing. I'm sorry that he doesn't realize that he could do better than Mary, and I'm sorry that Mary also needs therapy. Her not getting help for her issues causes her to act very terribly, and if she doesn't address it and get some self-awareness, it's not going to change. We don't, so we don't even know if her behavior around being controlling and insecure changed. That wasn't addressed. So, but he agrees, and I just really hope that this couple can get therapy at some point and address their trauma and their issues. Um, they are still together. I came across their YouTube channel. I was not looking for them. I was watching other 90 Day stuff, and I saw a video, and I clicked on it, and it was them. So they're still together. Hopefully, they've dealt with their issues. Hopefully, they've gotten mental health help because they very much need it, very badly. He, for some reason, thought this was the moment to ask her grandfather to marry her. I thought it was the wrong time, and I think Mary did as well because she expressed it and she was looking at him like she was confused and like, "What are you doing? What's wrong with you?" The grandpa says yes, the wedding is the most important thing, and having a peaceful life. I think having the peaceful life is the most important thing, but I think in order for that to happen, this couple needs help. And they need to learn how to communicate better. And that's just not going to happen by osmosis or something. Like they need to learn how to communicate and they need to both address their issues. Brandon has to acknowledge that he's sad because he didn't plan on coming over there and having a baby immediately. And I don't think he planned fully for what he was going to do when he got over there around work and everything. So I don't think this couple should have got married at that point. I don't know at what point they did get married, but this again is an example of how there's no practical guidance seemingly from the grandparents. I can't speak for her whole life, but in what we've seen, I think it would have made sense to say, I don't think you guys should get married until, we see some changes in your communication and things get better. That would be wise. But and for them, what's more important is just she's married. even if it's an unhealthy marriage. Them getting married is not going to make things peaceful. It's not going to solve their problems. People need to be have some measure of maturity before they get married. And this couple, they don't got it. But hey, they got married. I hope it's working out for them. Um, yeah, I just this really reminded me of why Mary is just her lack of self-awareness and her lack of maturity is crazy. And it's just it's sad to watch. I wish this young man recognized that he could take some time to get his own healing, build his life, go to school or build a business, get an education, and find a healthy woman. But it's too late. You know, he wants to be with this girl and stay over there. So God bless. I do want to say we see his mom on the preview. She's coming next week, and she's saying she's never gonna have a good relationship with Mary. And I've just uh detailed why I'm not feeling Mary, but I find that to be really immature for a grown woman. But I'm not surprised. This woman didn't raise Brandon. She's not a responsible parent. So I don't really take her seriously. And it's not surprising that she's so immature. Even though Mary has been not good to Brandon, your son is choosing to marry her, so you don't have to get along with her and be best friends, but you can either hash stuff out or at least say, hey, okay, I'll be cordial. And the fact that this grown adult can't do that is really not surprising. She's immature, and I think she just wanted to be on TV. I'm not saying she doesn't care about him at all, but she hasn't cared about him his whole life. So I just don't think this woman has any right to say anything. She's kind of looking dumb. But anyways, let's talk about Armando and Kenny, who annoyed me on this episode. Um, I can't mess with Armando no more. I don't really like what I saw from Armando this season, but I mean, you know, Kenny and Armando are a beautiful couple, and I think they're positive. But I feel like Armando strong-armed, pressured, and manipulated Kenny into agreeing to have a baby. And I hope it works out. I really do. I don't. I hope Kenny doesn't end up regretting this and being unhappy because, I don't think Armando's even came to his mind that Kenny could leave him. And I don't think he will. I think they'll stay together and they'll be fine. But like, I don't know. I don't know, Kenny, when that baby is crying in the middle of the night, he's 60. He has to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So God bless. But they're telling Hannah that they want to have another baby and that they're gonna move to Mexico City. When they tell her these things, um, she seems unsure about both of them. She seems surprised. Um, she seemed to feel like, okay, I like living in La Mission and I don't she liked the school, but she just seemed like she was like, "Okay, I guess." And then about the baby, she didn't really want the baby. She's expressed in the past that she doesn't want to have a baby because she's concerned, like most children are, only children, when they're about to get a sibling, that their parent will give them less attention. Now, uh, he says to her, "You're the reason for why I live. I love you so much. You're my number one. You're my ride or die." Not ride or die, but you know. Um, you'll always be my number one. But I think at the same time, I'm not a parent, but it's not completely realistic to tell your children nothing's going to change because it is. Babies do require a lot of attention, and you are going to probably have to give your other child a little less attention for a temporary time. I mean, so I'm not saying you say to you, well, yeah, I'm going to pay him less attention to you, but he may want to express the reality that, yes, the baby is going to require some attention, but we'll be a family together and we'll share those moments, maybe. I don't know. But because babies require a lot of attention. Like, so I don't think man Hannah is that into moving to Mexico City or having a baby, but they were like trying to convince her and they did. And what is she gonna say? No. They already made the decision. They're the adults. I feel like they just kind of massaged her into agreeing. I don't feel like either of them cared. Like honestly, I know they love her, but I don't feel like Armando really cared if she didn't want the baby. Like if that girl would have told Armando, I don't want you to have the baby. Armando would have been like, no, but we gonna have a baby. Like, Armando didn't care about her opinion. It didn't matter to him. He's saying it did, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He was going to get that baby, and that's what I didn't like about Armando this season. I feel like he was being extremely selfish. He's having this baby because of trauma, and I just feel like it was just all about what he wanted, and he didn't care about how Kenny felt about it or how his daughter felt about it. So, I mean, yes, he reassures her like, a good parent does. I think Armando's a good parent. I'm not saying he's not, but what I am saying is that he wanted to have a baby and he was going to do it come hell or high water, regardless of what Kenny or Hannah felt about it. And that's the truth. That's how he acted. So, you know, that is what that is. I wish them the best. I don't want to see this couple again, even though I love them and they're great. I don't want to see them having no baby. For what? It's ridiculous. Watching this 60-year-old man try to raise a baby. I don't want to see that. I wish them the best. So now let's talk about TJ and Kimberly. These dummies really getting married for real. Wow. I'm still in shock. When they showed the mid-season trailer a few episodes ago, I gasped. And I don't gasp a lot, but my mouth dropped and I actually gasped. 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 Because I could not believe these uh fools actually got married. Like they really should not have done that. TJ had the right idea when he said to her on the phone that we don't need to get married, but he appealed to his emotions, and I do think he feels emotionally attached to her. So he swayed him. But so we see them in the second day, day two of the wedding festivities. And I do want to say the imagery is breathtaking. The colors and the drone footage. Um, wow, their venue in the decorations, it's all beautiful. Um, so Kimberly is getting frustrated because they're about to do another ceremony and she doesn't know what it's about. She doesn't know what it's for. She doesn't know what's going on and nobody's trying to tell her. She and her parents are asking for a translator, which I think is reasonable. They're just like, "Hey, can someone explain to us what's going on?" And Kimberly is using all the power and might in her little body to try not to have a usual angry meltdown like what she would. And I at least give it to her for trying. And she did. She made an effort, but she was upset. And I actually, as much as she's been annoying, or not annoying, but like she's had her moments that I didn't agree with, I understood what she was saying. I don't think it's unreasonable at all. I think it's perfectly reasonable for her and her parents to say, well, what is this about? Can we have a translator? I don't see anything wrong with that. Um, and so TJ ends up coming up and he's like, "Hey, I was in another ceremony and I feel bad that you don't know what's going on, but like I can't be here the whole time." And she was like, "I get that. You don't have to be here the whole time. It could have been somebody else." She didn't ask for TJ. She said someone. You mean to tell me there's nobody there that can speak English? Somebody else could have translated. It didn't have to be TJ. And she said, "I understand that. It could have been somebody else." And he said, "Oh, his family's small and some of the ceremonies are so complex they can't be translated." And I was like, "That's BS. That's a lie." I don't know why TJ just lied like that. When he was trying to finagle his way out of having to translate this ceremony to her, which was ridiculous. Um, so then he went through the ceremony with her. He explains it in the confessional, but I don't know if he explained it at the time. He said that they mix turmeric, saffron, and an oil, and they put it on their feet and on their face and stuff. And I think he said it's supposed to symbolize them coming together as a couple, something like that. I forgot what he said turmeric symbolizes. I know turmeric is a good spice and it has health benefits. My mom uses it a lot in food and drinks and stuff. So um I just don't believe him when he says they're so complex that they can't be translated. He literally translated and talked about it in the confessional. He explained several ceremonies on the first day, and I didn't have any problem understanding them. They made sense and it was clear. So yeah, that was a cop out. But anyways, she starts crying because she was upset, but when he came, she felt better, which again, she needs that emotional support. But I'm glad that she made an effort not to go off and she felt better when he helped and she even though she said she doesn't like people touching her feet, she was like, okay, I'll go with it. Um, I think she did a good job, actually. I think that, she said she's going to let go of negativity and remain optimistic, and I'll give it to Kimberly here. But we did see in that mid-season trailer her screaming like I don't even know what, like a freaking somebody being exorcised, like in an exorcism. It scared me. Like I was shooketh, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm gonna have to fast forward when that happens because I don't want to hear it. And the way she did it, it was so scary. It was like she was possessed or being exorcised for real. So now let's talk about the last couple, Sarper and Shekinah. I'm thankful for this couple because unfortunately we have some serious situations this season, and this couple right here gives us the goofiness. They give us the laughs. Now some of the stuff that happened in this episode with them was not funny, but we at least get some humor from this couple. So, and they have interesting names. So Shekinah's sister Sharia, it- Sharia, it reminds me of this rapper that I like. Her name is Sharia, Sharia J. So yeah. Anyways, so her sister comes to visit. I think her sister is pretty. They're both pretty, but like you can see that her sister either hasn't had any plastic surgery, cosmetic procedures on her face, or hers are like done better. Because Shekinah's face is a lot more dramatic, and you can see the stuff, but like her sister's face looks a little more natural. But her sister kind of has that tone of voice and cadence like the Kardashians, like that dead affect with no expression to it. That like nasally, uh, what is it like? Just no real, just monotone, kind of, and like low nasally and monotone. But um, I don't know. I guess that's just how they talk. But anyway, so Sarper is nervous to meet her sister. And she's saying that, my sister just wants to see that you care about me and that you're not just like selfish and about yourself. And he was like, "Oh, I mean, I do care about you. Like, I'm weighing you every day. Don't you know that? Like, I'm not doing that for me." Like, he just started mouth like this thing. Oh my God. And he was like, "Don't say that because it doesn't sound right." And when they put the camera on his face, he he genuinely was like, "Oh, okay." Like he genuinely was stunned that she told him not to say that. And I was like, "Oh, this man is not acting. I think Sarper is being his 100% self. I don't think he's putting on." I mean, it's possible the producers have told him to say something. I don't know, but I don't think so. I think he's being his 100% authentic self. But he does say that, you know, he can tend to say the wrong thing sometimes. So, he doesn't want to say the wrong thing in front of the sister. At least he has a little bit of self-awareness, but I don't think it's a lot. But at least he realizes that sometimes what he says can sound bad, I guess. But it didn't seem to matter because he still mouth vomited when she got there. So when she gets there, he decides to cook a Turkish dish. Well, he's not cooking actually. It's raw. It's raw meat. He mixes raw meat, raw vegetables, and I think rice. Now he says that this is a traditional dish that his father used to make for them. And I understand that this is a cultural food item, but I think when you're going to introduce a new cuisine to people who are not familiar with it, you probably should just cook. You probably shouldn't introduce something that is probably not going to be palatable to them. So I think this was a terrible idea, and I don't understand. But this goes into what I talked about with low effort, which I'm going to discuss. Um, he says he wanted to show that he was doing something special. Um, anyway, so when the sister gets there, um, for some reason he has a cabinet full of empty alcohol bottles. I know people sometimes have alcohol cabinets or chests where they store their wine and stuff, and they have like a mini fridge where they put their beer or but like I don't understand why he has empty alcohol bottles. Now, she was like, "Oh, are there memories attached to them?" Because I know some people keep shot glasses. So I was like, "Is it like that? Like, are they different wines from different parts of the world or something? Like places he traveled?" Like, oh, he didn't fully explain that. But so, so the sister asked him, Soraya asked him, what would you think if she tells you that something makes her uncomfortable? And he says he doesn't like to be told what to do and he wants to think of it for himself. And I found that answer to be odd because not odd, but it was irrelevant. It wasn't really relevant to what he was asking because if someone tells you that something you do or have done or that is present makes them uncomfortable, how would you know that it makes them uncomfortable? Like how would you think of that for yourself? Like you don't know until they tell you. And so if they tell you if you're in a relationship you want to compromise if it's something that is difficult for you or have a conversation and be considerate of their feelings and try to understand where they're coming from and see if you guys can compromise or if it's something that you can just remove or stop doing or whatever and figure out how you can do that. It's not a matter of you thinking of it for yourself, but it again underscores his selfishness and self-absorption. The sister is saying that, that sounds controlling, which I guess more selfish. Yeah. So then they talk about the social media thing where she's like, you why aren't you wanting to post her? And he was saying that he wanted to talk about it face to face because when they're texting about it, he acts like a quote slut and quote bit. And I was shocked. I was taken aback because he just said that like there was no provocation. And I'm not saying it would have been okay if there were, but they weren't having an argument or anything. It just came out of nowhere. And I was like, did they edit this scene? Like, was there a huge like 5, 10, 15, 20 minute scene between the sister asking about the social media and him saying this? Because it did not make sense, and it would have never made sense. But it's one thing if they're yelling and having an argument, he says those things, and it's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that," but it makes sense in the sense of not it doesn't make sense. What I'm getting at is I didn't understand why he just came out and said those words. It just was so, like, random to me. I was like, "What?" And, they look shocked. I'm shocked. We're all shocked. And we see the kinda in the confessional saying like she was shocked and she didn't like that, but this is English is his second language, and he was trying to think of how to say he wasn't satisfied with her asking him to post her on social media, post their relationship, and she understands what I don't know. She just excused that foolishness, and I was like, this goes back to what I said about Sophie and Rob. There are women like this. Again, if a man is really good looking to them and he's laying pipe, they will allow him to mistreat them or to just do whatever he wants. And they also will allow him to make low effort, like him not even wanting to cook a meal. This is somebody who tells us that he exercises in the gym every day of his life, which it would make me assume that he eats healthy. And you mean to tell me you couldn't put some chicken in the oven, cook some vegetables, steamed or boil some vegetables, and cook some rice. Like, I mean, he couldn't even cook for them. That's how low effort this person is. He couldn't feed them. I mean, so, but Shekinah, in her mind, it doesn't matter. All he has to do is look good and give her attention and have a place to live. And that's it. He doesn't have to respect her. They were like, oh, this is very disrespectful, and he said, me being faithful is respectful. And I was just like, again, low effort, the low effort, the audacity, just bare minimum. But that's what she's okay. She's okay with bare minimum. because in her mind, his looks are the maximum. And again, looks and sexual compatibility matter, but it's not either or. It's not look, sexual attraction, physical attraction, and sexual compatibility, or respect and make an effort in the relationship. It's not either or. There's women in the world with a man that is good looking, that they're sexually attracted to, who also respects them and makes an effort more than the bare minimum. Like it's not either or, but to kind of, I guess, believe that it is, and she's willing to take the bare minimum he's giving for the D. So what can you say? The sister doesn't understand that, right? She's like the rest of us, but you can't convince her. Can't convince Shekinah. Um, the sister was like, "Oh, why won't you show her your DMs?" And he was like, "No, I would never show her my DMs." And she's like, "Because he has something to hide." And then I agree. Now the sister said, "Oh, if you don't want to show her, then show me." And I will agree, that that was probably a little too far. But he was doing too much as well when he was like, "Oh, that's my privacy," and that's like asking to see your underwear, seeing your panties. It's the same thing. And I was like, "Okay, slow up. Listen, was it a little much for her to say, 'Let me see your DMs'?" Yes, and she even admitted, "Okay, I didn't actually want to see his DMs," but it's not the same as saying, "Can I see your private parts?" Boy, bye. Is it because he has pictures of his private parts in the DMs? Is that why he's saying that? Because he's sending women pictures of his private parts and receiving pictures of private parts from women? That might be why he said that. That's why it's the same thing, because it literally is. Um, then he tells her that, "Oh, you're cute, but you're talking too much," and she leaves, as she should. Um, you know, I would have walked out as soon as he said slut bitch, because he just not only said that to them, he said that in front of a camera crew, a lighting person, a sound person, PAs. He said that in front of at least five people. So, um, but like I said, some of y'all, this is what she wanted. She's okay with this type of behavior because of the sex. She's accepting this. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Anyway, so that was the episode. We didn't see Holly and Wayne. I don't think we're gonna see Holly and Wayne again. They're up. What else is left? There's nothing left for them. So that was. Is there any other couples? I don't remember. I think that's it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about sorry for calling this woman a bitch and a slut and her still staying with him. And and whether the sister asking if the DMs was too much. I do think it was too much, but I think she wanted to make a point. But I don't think the sister did anything wrong. She just needs to accept that her sister has chosen to be in this relationship and is going to accept this treatment. I guess she kind of doesn't think it's possible to be with a man she's physically attracted to and also respects her, which is sad. I don't understand why someone who looks like her can't find a man who's good looking and treats her with respect. I don't get it. But um can't be that hard. Never mind. Anyways, so yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.